Today is Original Song Sunday, and I'm going to play you an original song. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a story that I've told many times, and I tell it usually accompanied with a song I play called La Ventana. But today I'm going to play you a song called Junkie, and I'm going to tell you why. So in 2016, I bought a graffiti van. I drove around the country and into Mexico, and I went to about 60 cities over the course of about 3 months. And I played open mics, I played gigs, wherever. Anything I could discover, I went and played music for. I mean, I've got so many stories from that trip. Maybe I'll get into those some other time. But this is probably my favorite story from the trip. Early on in the trip, I drove into Mexico. And it was Baja California. So if you know the geography, there's kind of the mainland of Mexico, and then there's Baja California that you can drive into from California. And Baja's, I think, bigger than maybe a lot of people realize. Before going into Mexico, almost everybody that I ever talked to when I was going on this tour, they said, don't go into Mexico. And they said that it's dangerous, like to be driving by myself in Mexico. It's too dangerous. You know, I'm going to get pulled over. I'm going to get extorted or arrested or maybe worse. It's just a bad idea. And I had people that don't usually even say anything to me, just texting me or sending me messages, basically telling me not to go. I took all that to heart, but when I reached the border, you know, all those messages came to me. And I had one person actually that told me to go. He runs a metal fabricator shop in Long Beach, California. So if you know him, you probably know who I'm talking about. He was the one person that told me to go and that it was totally worth it. It would be an amazing trip. I arrived at the border and I've got all those sentiments in my head about why not to go. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm on a tour that I'm calling the Big Picture Tour. Self-funded, created tour where I'm driving around in a van around the country. It's called the Big Picture Tour, and this song's about trying to see the big picture. And I reached the border of Mexico, and all these thoughts are in my head. Don't go, it's too dangerous. And I'm thinking, if I cross this border, at least from what the information I have, there's a good chance I'm not coming back. And I thought at that time, I have to go. I was okay with dying at that time. I might not be now. I don't know. I was willing to take risks. And I thought to myself, I have to go, because how can I be asking other people to see the big picture and singing about seeing the big picture if I'm not willing to go discover the truth? And I thought that was kind of the whole point of the experience, is to go discover truth. And if I'm too afraid to go discover the truth, then I don't know what the point is. So I drove in to Baja California, and I spent like 3 days driving south. And I went through 6 or 7 military checkpoints. And it's an amazing drive for anybody that is interested in doing it. I think it's amazing. Don't be stupid. Like, if you don't fill up gas at the right times, you will run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. You need to be somewhat smart about your strategy and what you're doing. And in some ways, I got very lucky. I was driving a van that was covered in colorful graffiti. Anybody that looks at this van would probably assume that I'm carrying something that I'm not supposed to carry, and even if it's in small amounts, right? So I'm going through 7 military checkpoints. All of them were really cool. Nothing happens. The very last one that I went through, they asked me to get stuff out. Like, they went through my van a bit, and they looked in like vitamin jars and stuff, or vitamin capsule things. I get to La Ventana, which was my destination. La Ventana is a little fishing village, and it's where a lot of kite surfers go. If you don't know kite surfing, go check out a YouTube video on kite surfing. Amazing sport where you attach a giant kite to yourself. You can surf the waves. You can ride flat water. It's amazing. So I'm in La Ventana. I write a few songs while I'm in La Ventana. I spend about a week overall in Mexico. On my way back, long drive, I'm about halfway back, and then I actually get pulled over by the federales. These were the people that everyone told me to beware of. And even when I was in La Ventana, I was told to beware of them, and I was told specifically a story about how people just disappeared. And so I'm pulled over by the federales. There's a checkpoint, and they wave me over. I pull over, and they say, like, how's it going, or what do you have in the van? And I said, I just have clothes and music instruments. And they said, okay, well, get out a guitar. They didn't even ask to look in the van. They just said, get out a guitar. So I got out a guitar, and I played them this song, Junkie. I'm on the side of the road, in the middle of a desert, with the federales with nothing around, playing some songs for them on the side of the road. I played them Junkie, which was a song I had written. I thought there's no better song to play for them than one that I wrote in Mexico. I played it, and I played one other song. I think I played All Star by Smash Mouth. They liked it. I think they clapped a little bit. One of the officers wanted to play my guitar a little bit. He picked a little bit. He probably hadn't played in a little while, but you could tell, he had put some time in it at one point in time. And then we just talked. We just talked about what it's like to be in their position. What are their thoughts about the United States? Normal conversation, just connecting. And so I think the moral of the story sort of speaks for itself. I just wanted to share that story to let people know a lot of times fears are just things that are in the way of a good connection. This is the actual song that I played for them. But this is Wind Junkie. It's about kite surfers, and it's about kite surfing. If you are a kite surfer, you might really appreciate this. If you're not a kite surfer, just understand people get addicted. So, there we go. Wind junkie, I'm gonna follow that wind all around the world. Wind junkie, I'm gonna follow that wind all around the world. Gonna follow that wind wherever it goes. I see them green leaves moving even before the wind blows. Wind junkie, gonna follow that wind on down to my grave. Wind junkie, the thrill owns me and I'm holding the reins. Gonna follow that wind wherever it goes. I see them green leaves moving long before the wind blows. Gonna be out late tonight. I got a date under the moonlight with my kite. Gonna wrap some glow sticks all around my kiteboard and my GoPro now. Hey. Junkie, gonna follow that wind all around the world. Wind junkie, gonna follow that wind all around the world. Gonna follow that wind wherever it goes. I see them green leaves moving long before the wind blows. Gonna be out late tonight. I got a date under the moonlight with my kite. Gonna wrap some glow sticks all around my kiteboard and my GoPro mount. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, oh, oh. Woo! Thanks for listening, you guys. That is Wind Junkie, and I'll see you guys in the next song next week.